Hi everyone, this is Karthik. Welcome to Techno TV 515 Telugu. In the last video, I have shown the installation process of Microsoft SQL Server and SQL Server Management Studio. Now, today in this video, let us discuss about authentication modes in SQL Server. Before going to the video, a small request: if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe and click on the bell icon to get more updates. From my side, in SQL Server, mainly we have two type of authentication modes. One is Windows authentication mode and another one is SQL Server authentication mode. When we use Windows authentication mode to connect to the SQL Server, Windows is the completely responsible to authenticate by identifying its current Windows user. That means SQL Server automatically logins with the current Windows user. Now let me open SSMS. As you can see here, in Windows authentication mode, username and password are in disabled state. We need not to provide any username and password in Windows authentication mode. SQL Server uses your computer name, your Windows name as a SQL Server name to connect to the SQL Server. In Windows authentication mode, there is a less chance to trace the username and password by unauthorized persons. If I click on connect, it will give the access to the databases. Now another one is SQL Server authentication. When we use SQL Server authentication, SQL Server compares the username and password with the username and password which we maintained within the SQL Server. We must require a username and password to connect to the SQL Server. We need to create a user, we need to create a login to connect to the SQL Server by using SQL Server authentication mode. Let me show you how to create a login. Go to the securities, right click on the logins, click on the new logins. Here we need to select SQL Server authentication. Give the username here and give the password, and again give the password. Uncheck this enforce password policy and click on OK. Now the user is created. Let me refresh. Go to the server, go to the security, go to the logins. Here you can see the login name Karthik. Now I am trying to log in with SQL Server authentication mode. Let me connect. Here choose SQL Server authentication mode. As you can see here, login and password are in enabled state. This is the login name and I am giving now password. And this is the Windows authentication mode, and this is the Windows authentication mode, and this is the SQL Server authentication mode. This is the Windows user and this is the SQL Server user. In an instance of SQL Server, must have multiple user accounts with multiple different username and password, since different users have a different databases in the SQL Server. These are all about SQL Server authentication modes. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.